Hi there, and welcome to Chapter 1, Lesson 2, How to Decide on a Location. We're going to cover some online resources that are free that you can use to find out some areas of France that might meet your specific criteria if you're not sure exactly where you want to be. And if that's you, you're definitely not alone. Lots of people want to buy a house in France. They know they want certain things, but they're not sure which areas in France might meet those criteria. So we're going to look at a way that you could try and narrow down that search. And it's going to use this site, Greenacres. Now, they have some interesting search options on here. You can see they have search options for environment, leisure, and practical. And also at the top, I've already put in a budget of 400 to 600,000. It's quite a common one, and a house size of 150 to 250 meters squared. Now, the interesting factors here are we've put in 30 minutes from the sea and 1 hour from an airport. And then the map on the right, that's showing you all the little black dots are potential options. So you might not have thought about some of those areas if you want to be by the sea and close to an airport, but you can go and explore what sort of houses you can get for that budget in those areas now by zooming in. On this next slide, I've done a slightly different search to show you some of the other options. This one is still an hour from an airport, but in a quiet area and with a sunny exposure. And you can see they're mostly in the south of France, on the coast, but also a little bit further north towards Lyon. So how do you narrow that down from it's 170 something listings there? Well, as you zoom in on the map, it cuts the search. So you see it's now dropped to 78 listings, and we're narrowing down the search area. And when you get to a point where you want to look at see what some of them look like, you just hit the green listings button, and it will show you a list of the properties rather than the map view. I picked this one at random. This is one of my properties. I don't know anything about it. I thought it looked quite attractive. And the point here I want to make is that this is a town name. I maybe didn't know this town name before, but this meets the criteria that I've put in. And you'll see other ones. So we saw 78 on Greenacres there. You'll find out later in the course that the English language sites tend to have less options, less properties listed on them than some of the French sites. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this information that we just learned, that this town here might be of interest to us, and then we're going to put that into one of the French search engines, Le Bon Coin, and see what other listings there are. So in here, I've put in that town name, Roubion, and a search radius of 5 kilometres around that town. And it's come up with some other options that kind of look similar, could be interesting, historic properties like the first one that we found, but there are some other town names now. So there's 3 other towns that maybe I can explore and see if there are properties there that also suit what I'm looking for. One thing I wanted to note here is that you'll see after the town names there's a number. That's the postcode for the town. But importantly, it's not just the postcode for that town, it's the postcode for that town and several surrounding towns. So you can also widen your search but stick to kind of a geographical area of interest, but you can search by the postcode. Rather than doing this Roubion of 5 kilometres, I could search for the postcode and it would pull up all those towns in that postcode. If you want to see which towns are included, one easy way to do it is if you go into Google Maps, you can put in the postcode and it will show you. So to recap, my advice is use these free English-speaking sites with the innovative search criteria to try and narrow down where you want to be in France. And then take that information and use it on other sites, not just the first sites that gave you this information in the first place. Leverage that information. You learn also how you can find different towns this way, and that postcodes can be a good way to widen your search a bit around an area of interest.